Not everybody that has autism has OCD, but I do, and if you're one of the 5 people that does as well, let's talk about compulsions and rituals. You might think if you have a stim, you also have a compulsion, but they're 2 very different things. My stim, for example, is bouncing my leg. I'll just bounce my leg, much to the chagrin of whoever's sitting in front of me, and that calms me down, that relaxes me, that just sort of centers me to wherever it is. I don't necessarily have to bounce my leg. I play with my hands, I could crush my knuckles, I could do whatever it was, but the point is, it's something you do to chill out, and it's something that's replaceable. A compulsion is driven by fear. It's something that you feel you have to do, not something you want to do. In fact, many times you fight against it and you fear the compulsion itself, but you have to do it to make it go away. I was terrified of little stress balls. Very painful memory, very messed up, that kind of thing. I wouldn't go into a room with a stress ball. I wouldn't touch a stress ball. And God forbid, if a stress ball ever touched something else, that thing was now contaminated and I had to throw them both out. But the thing about compulsions is that they grow. They never just stay one thing. They often branch themselves out into other parts of your life and start infiltrating every waking moment of your existence. Soon, I wasn't just afraid of stress balls, I was afraid of all balls, tennis balls, basketballs. My particular OCD was contamination OCD, meaning if my trigger happened to be near something that wasn't contaminated by it, that thing was now contaminated by association. So if I'm buying groceries and I see a baseball game playing on TV while I'm buying them, now I have to throw out all the groceries. If I get paid or if I get some money or something and I think about a ball, just thinking about it, in my head, I've implemented that contamination into the money and now I have to get rid of it. It's insane. You will become a prisoner in your own mind and it will never stop. Not only will you get more rituals, but they'll become longer, they'll become more involved, and they will start to affect things that you once loved, essentially sapping out all the joy you had for this thing because now all you can see is some horrible memory or some sort of fear. So how do you avoid this? And if you've already got it, how do you reverse the damage from it? Double nothing. Let's say my trigger is this ball. Now, I want to leave the room. I want to get rid of this ball. I want to throw it away. I don't want it anywhere near me. I wait 5 minutes. 5 minutes, I don't do anything. I can play a video game. I can read a book. You can listen to music. Whatever you want to do. But for 5 minutes, you do nothing to that trigger. Then after 5 minutes, you can take it. You can throw it. You can do whatever you want. But you give it those 5 minutes. The next time that trigger and compulsion comes up, you double that 5 minutes of waiting to 10. Same principle. You let it sit there, whatever it is, it can be anything, but you don't interact with that trigger or do your compulsion for 10 minutes. And then, same thing. Do whatever you want to do. What this is doing is training your brain that this is not something to be afraid of. You've effectively told your mind, hey, this is bad, look out for it, warn me of it, this is something that we have to be aware of, and you just have to reverse that training. Stimuli and response. You're responding to a certain way to the stimuli, so your brain is going to think that's the natural order of things. If you tell it to be afraid of things, it's going to be afraid of things. That timer is going to go from 10 to 20 to 40 over and over and over until eventually you're not going to be so freaked out by this anymore. Your brain's going to be like, hey, this is fine. What am I freaking out about? I'm okay. It's a safety thing. There's no scenario where you give in to your compulsion that's actually going to help you. There's always going to be one more last time, and you obeying what this compulsion wants you to do is never in your best interest. Easy to learn, hard to master, but it works.